What is going on YouTube? This is 717 Sports Chat Live. I am your host, Marcus James Witherspoon, coming live here on Monday night. About to have the Chiefs and the Giants playing on Monday Night Football, as we also have some NBA lineup tonight as well. But as we know, we have a bunch of news coming out of the sports world today. We're going to be covering some NFL, NBA, and boxing. Had a couple boxing fights over the weekend, some intriguing topics we want to touch on, especially the Gervonta Tank Davis and Rolando Ramirez fight being canceled. Apparently, Rolly Ramirez is under investigation for sexual assault. But before we get on to that, I would like to introduce my family, my baby cousin, the man, the myth, the legend, the Packer fan, Roberto Pizarro Jr., a.k.a. Man, Packer fan, whatever you want to call him.
Yo, it's good to be on here, man.
It's been a long time in the
works. A long time coming.
A long time coming. A long time coming. I'm glad to have you on. You are a part of the team now. As I told you, I will eventually, after we do this stream, I'll send you the information for the YouTube account and all that. You have free reigns. If you want to post videos, if we have breaking news, you know what I mean? You can do your thing, you know what I mean? And then we'll talk about it on the live show later, etc. But anyway, this is 717 Sports Chat Live. I am Marcus James Witherspoon, your host, and this is our newest member, my cousin, Roberto Pizarro Jr. Cuz, how's your day going?
We're going good. We're going real good.
Yeah? You ready to get into this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, we're going to start off with some NFL news. Oh, man, what a day. What a day. What a day to start off the NFL trade deadline. The Denver Broncos has traded veteran all-pro linebacker Von Miller to the Los Angeles Rams. Let's say the details of the picks that they exchanged, etc., hasn't been leaked yet. It is been leaked that the Broncos are paying the remainder of Von Miller's salary for this year, the remaining $9 million. So basically, the Rams basically got him for nothing. Man, what do you think about this? Does this now, my question to you is, does this now put the Rams in position as like one of the top 4 teams in the NFC to compete for a Super Bowl?
Yeah. They were already a top 4 team in my eyes, in my opinion, because the defense is already good. And Matthew Stafford, he got like a QBR is higher than everybody right now. The offense is clicking, and the defense is already clicking. You add that to Aaron Donald, who's already like 3 people, with Jordan Ramsey and Von Miller. I feel bad for NFC quarterbacks. It's a bad day to be a QB in the NFC right now.
I agree with you. I really agree. That's the first thing that popped into my mind when I saw that news. And I want to get a shout out to my boy Courtney. He's the one who shared it to the group page on Facebook. I was at work and stuff, and he tagged me in it and was like, "Hey, did you see this?" And I looked at the article, and I'm just like, wow, Von Miller and Aaron Donald? Woo! Good God. And we got to look at it from this perspective, too. That's Von Miller, Aaron Donald, and Jalen Ramsey. That's 3 all-pro players at the positions that they play that the Rams now have on defense.
That's crazy.
To add with already a solid core around that,
and good
their
coaching.
Defense it's only going to get better. Especially once Von gets a hold of the system, gets a hold of how they do things, they're going to be really, really, really scary. Really, really scary. I agree with you on that regard. That NFC teams, I feel bad for them.
Yeah, QBs.
Yeah, a lot. Any the running backs, everybody, because guys like Von Miller and Aaron Donald, they're complete players. They're complete edge rushers. These guys can not only just get to the quarterback, they can stop the run as well. And if you really want to, you can drop them back in coverage and play them as linebackers.
Yeah.
Wow, they just got better. And I mean,
this is gonna be fun.
What we seen yesterday from the Buccaneers. Obviously, if you can get pressure on Brady, I'm gonna put it this way. Because see, my thing is, and I'm sorry to tell you this, unless you guys make a move, your defense, I don't trust your defense in the playoffs against these teams. Yes, I don't. I just don't. It's not your offense. It's never your offense. It's your defense that scares me.
Now we're missing big pieces with Jair Alexander out. with like a arm injury, and then Zadarius out with a back. He's supposed to be coming
But
back
see,
soon,
much
but
to you guys'
there's no
credit, you're
time
still
date on
winning
that.
games without them. So that is a good sign that you're winning games without your core guys, and that when your core guys come back, you guys should be right in the thick of things and you guys already hit the ground running. What you guys won, like 6 straight?
7 straight.
7 straight. See, and that's on defense without your core guys. So it's like your defense has stepped up when they've needed to, but to me, against teams that like Tampa, who knows how to play your defense, teams like the Rams, who might know how to play your defense because they have running games. You know what I mean? They have running backs. You know what I mean? Fournette, Henderson, those guys can run the ball. And that to me is your biggest weakness. And for me anyway, the Rams are the biggest threat to Tampa because of Von Miller. And it's also worth to note.
Well, I don't think Tampa's that good this year.
They're shopping Deshaun Watson. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about that.
I got to give credit to this front office and Sean McVay. They every year it seems like they make a really good move. Last year was Jalen Ramsey. This year it's Von Miller. Like, there's no doubt McVay's trying to get back to the Super Bowl. And to me, I gotta say they're my favorite now to the NFC. Like, wow, like that defense, man. We know this, man. When you already have a good offense, and a good defense,
it's hard to stop.
When you add an all-pro piece to an already all-pro defense, what? Like, I'm gonna put it this way: they just better hope these guys stay healthy.
Yeah,
Von
Miller's already averaging. He already got like 4.5 sacks on the season.
Yeah,
like that's a lot. And 10 solo hits.
And now this opens up everything for the Rams defense and also for the other guys the defensive tackles and linebackers who want to rush the quarterback. This opens up everything because now you're going to see teams not only doubling Aaron Donald, you're going to see them doubling Von Miller too.
That's going to take a lot of pressure off Aaron Donald, though. That's going to take a lot of pressure off him. And it's going to be fun. They're going to have fun.
Man, it's going to be nasty. It's going to be real
nasty. Packers played them this year. I'm looking forward to that game.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that game, too. I feel bad for your boy Rodgers. He might walk out of that one with another lazy eye.
Yeah. You must not know who he is. You got to remind you. He's going to have to remind you.
I'm well aware of Aaron Rodgers. Like, listen, if you want to talk championships, okay, Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. But if you want to talk about playing the position, I think Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning are tied. You know what I mean? Just because of how they can decipher a defense. And just it's not that Brady can't, because he can too.
I feel like he's just not athletic.
Exactly.
And
Peyton wasn't that athletic, but he's more athletic than Tom. You know what I mean? And in terms of just playing quarterback, when you look at touchdown interception ratio, Aaron Rodgers, his stat line trumps everybody's.
Yeah, Tom Brady he's achieved more.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
He knows how to win. That's his biggest thing. He knows how to win.
Yes, he does know how to win.
And to make the guys better around him.
The sad thing is, he knows how to win in spite of being underhanded.
Yeah, he knows how to make people around him be better. He makes bad receivers look elite.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I will say this, it's looking like Allen Lazard's starting to step up.
Yeah, Randall Cobb too. I want more action from Randall Cobb.
Yeah, I think you guys I think the reason why you guys didn't unleash him a lot yet is because LaFleur's system is different than, obviously McCarthy's system.
Yeah.
So I think it took him a little bit more time to get acclimated, but I think especially in the second half of the season, I think we're going to see a lot more Randall Cobb. Because you see when you guys get him involved, your offense even looks that more dangerous.
Yeah. Especially in the red zone. He's been perfect for us this year.
Absolutely. Because then he takes the pressure off Devontae and Tanya.
Yeah. Tanya's out for the season with a torn ACL. Yeah. He hurt us in the game. I think he caught the ball. I don't think he just ran on it. like he was running and he just flipped the other direction. Prayers out to him, but he's a great tight end, and this might be his last game played with us.
Mark
Because
my words. Because of that, you guys are going to go trade for Evan Ingram from the Giants.
yeah, we got Mercedes Lewis, but other than that, DeGuara, I don't really have faith in DeGuara, because I just don't.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't have too much faith neither. Mercedes Lewis is a veteran. He's old. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the legs like he used to in his prime years in Jacksonville.
He's a better blocker.
He's a tremendous blocker.
A passer, like a catching threat.
Well, this is why I can see you guys, at least by the end of tonight's game, making a call out to New York and saying, hey, let's pull Evan Ingram. That kid, he needs a fresh start. And I think that guy, he has so much upside, but because of New York's quarterback issue, I mean, I like Danny Dimes personally. Mm-hmm. I like Danny Dimes. I just think of the coaching and just that overall environment. Some players need to go somewhere new. Mm-hmm. And who better for this kid with that much upside? I would put it this way. That guy could be your guys' Darren Waller because of his upside. And because of if you guys would acquire him, who's going to be throwing him the football and Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
All right. Well, as we said, Von Miller has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams. That is definitely going to be something interesting and fun to watch over there in the NFC. We're going to move on to the second part of this NFL. NFL through 8 weeks. Man, this season is going by so fast already. Yeah. It doesn't feel so like quick. It feels like just yesterday I was celebrating my Monday night overtime victory over Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like, man, it does. Like, it went that fast. Like
38-3.
But NFL through
it was yesterday when I just got up from that nap.
I know that's right. All right. So NFL through 8 weeks. Who's the team you are most impressed by?
In the NFL?
Yes.
I gotta go with the Cardinals.
I can agree with that. I have a different
they were going to be at least right now. Like I thought they would at least have 3 losses already. Mm-hmm. Kyler Murray, he took a big step up from last year to this year. Like he reminds me of like Aaron Rodgers, and I don't mean this but like he reminds me of Aaron Rodgers, just quicker and faster. Like, because when he made that throw to DeAndre Hopkins in the game with the Packers, and we had him, and a hand in his face, it's scary. And you got at him with DeAndre Hopkins, and the defense is looking good. The way they're playing is only getting better as the season goes on. And, yeah, it's crazy. And I don't think it was his fault in the final play of the game.
No, that was AJ Green's.
Yeah. And you should have seen me.
I know you was happy. As soon as I saw it, I said, yo, I know Man is losing his mind right now. What a way to end that game. But that was all on AJ Green. Now, you said that, Kyler reminds you of Aaron Rodgers. I could see where that assessment because of the ability to move out of the pocket and be under duress and still throw a good ball. The thing is, he's not quite as accurate because he's not also as athletic or tall as Aaron is. Aaron's 6'4", this guy's 5'11". So, but I agree with that assessment. I mean, I think I expected the Cardinals to be better this year. Did I expect them to start off undefeated? No, but from a Cardinal standpoint, I didn't expect that defense to be that good.
Yeah, and JJ Watt's out for the season.
Yeah, but I still think they're good enough. I still think they're good enough to compete. I mean, I don't see them competing past the first. I mean, they'll get past the first round if they, don't have a bye. But do I see them making like an NFC title game or a Super Bowl? No, not yet. But they definitely, that defense, especially with that offense, it complements well. I didn't expect Arizona's defense to be that good. But for me, even though somehow they lost yesterday, I don't know how they did this. But for me, the biggest surprise team so far is the Bengals.
Yeah.
The Bengals.
Joe Burrow. He's looking good.
Yo, how about Jamar Chase? The preseason, they was eating that kid's lunch. He can't catch. He's dropping everything.
He can't catch the ball.
And he's this year's Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
He's this year's Justin Jefferson. This kid's lights out. But, I mean, I don't know how the hell they lost yesterday. I mean, but then again, it is. I mean, Jets are still an NFL football team, and
Yeah.
they have a team, so they just outplayed the Bengals yesterday. But I really like the direction the Bengals are headed, and much to like the Cardinals, the Bengals defense is pretty good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and they have a good offense. Man, you look at the Bengals offense, you look at the receiving corps. You have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. 3 guys who can go and be a wide receiver 1 anywhere else. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They definitely have a good foundation, and I'm gonna really be interested to see. I want to say that's right. They blew out Baltimore.
Yeah.
So, and they
Joe
beat
Mixon
Pittsburgh.
is good too.
Like, so I mean, that team is pretty solid. I like the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, granted, they're still young and they still obviously yesterday, was a debacle on its own, but it's one of those things where I like to say sometimes them hot teams will lose to a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It just happens. Because they've been playing so well, they finally had an off day.
Yeah.
And that's
But they
what I
got too
look at it.
confident.
Okay, so your team
Come on.
obviously is the Cardinals. Obviously most impressed team you've been with so far through 8 weeks. Mine is the Bengals. Who is the most disappointing team through 8 weeks for you?
The Chiefs. The Chiefs, like the defense, I feel like they have never gotten over the Super Bowl. You gave up 30 points to Tampa, and then the first game of the season, you give up 29 to the Browns, who proved to not be as electric we all thought they were going to be in the beginning of the season. I think it's Baker Mayfield. He needs to go. He needs to go. And like the
Mm-hmm.
defense is just so terrible. And it's like the defense is so bad, it's hurting the offense. It's
I
hurting
agree.
Patrick Mahomes because he feels like he got to make every single play. He got to make all these plays and be Superman and try to win for his team. Like, it's just not working out. I
This
don't
is
like
what
the
happens
defense.
and you know what? I see this. It's sweet karma. You know what I mean? You want to know why? Because
Yeah,
that team drunk their own damn Kool-Aid and thought that they could just keep racking up points and scoring points, you
yeah,
know, and blowing these teams out or just putting up 40 points, just to scrape by while giving
yeah,
up 30. And for me, it's not even just the defense. That offense ain't the same anymore neither. You want to
yeah,
know why? Because Tampa Bay exposed them in the Super Bowl. Run 2 high safety single shell, they can't do nothing. You don't give up
yeah,
the big play, they cannot operate. They have
yeah,
no running game. They have no running game whatsoever. So when you already add no running game, then you take what is their bread and butter, which is play action, get the ball down the field, deep passes. When you take that away, what do you have left? You know what I mean? That
yeah,
to me, it's not even just the defense. That defense has always been suspect. That defense has always given up points. It's just
yeah,
now getting to the point where it's like, okay, now they need to go make a move, especially and get some defense. But also for me, is they need to go get another. I mean, is Clyde Edwards-Helaire the answer? I don't think he fits their
no,
system.
no,
I just don't. To me, he's more of a traditional old school running back that they're trying to turn into a scat back. To me, if I were them, and I hope they don't do it, but I'm looking at a guy like maybe a Christian McCaffrey, or maybe hit up Houston and go get a guy like David Johnson. Well, I wouldn't even, or Philip Lindsay, because he's a little bit fresher. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Who can come out the backfield and catch, do the things you want to do. Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't fit that. He's a more traditional downhill running back, in my opinion. So it's not even just the defense that has been terrible. That offense. And the reason why is because they've been figured out. That
yeah.
is exactly, they've gotten
I
exposed.
feel like they need to adjust to not
They're,
being
they,
that such electrifying team no more. I feel like there's a hard time doing that for Patrick Mahomes. Like not trying to
man,
take the
there's
big
an old
play.
saying. There's an old saying us old heads always say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah,
And the problem is the Chiefs offense has gotten so complacent to the big play. They've
yeah,
gotten so complacent because it's always been there.
yeah,
Now that it's not there, they're trying to find their identity. And I said this going into the year. This is the year they fall. The
yeah,
only the only way that they can get back is if they go make a move. If they go make a move. And I'll be honest, if I'm the Chiefs, why not call Earl Thomas?
Yeah.
You need
Wasn't
secondary
he
help.
fired by Ravens a couple years ago?
He got released, and he hasn't been touched ever since because he punched a teammate in the face. Or he punched somebody in the face.
I don't think
it
it was his fault.
You know what I mean? No, it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think that's, you know what I mean? I don't think he should be not on an NFL team because of that. You know what I mean? I think he can still play the game very, very well at a high level. And another guy that is actually your dad's team is shopping is Landon Collins. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs made a call up to Washington and say, hey, let's see what's up with Landon Collins. They need all the secondary help they can get. That's what's killing them to me is it's not even that they don't have a solid pass rush. They don't have no cornerbacks. They don't have no secondary. They give up too much. So if I'm the Chiefs, which, hey, I hope they don't, keep the same roster you got. Keep this. But if I am the Chiefs, I'm looking to go get some defense. I'm looking to go get a Landon Collins, Earl Thomas, maybe a guy like Eddie Jackson from the Bears because the Bears are just not that great. What is the one dude? There's another guy I was thinking about that's on a pretty bad Harrison Smith from the Vikings.
Yeah, he's good.
You know what I mean? That's another option the Chiefs could take. That's another option the Chiefs could definitely take. I want to say there's another team I was pretty disappointed with this year through 8 weeks. That honestly, the Giants. I expected the Giants to be a lot better this year, and yeah, I did. And listen. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's two things.
That's a problem. They need a QB, man.
No, it's not even that. The boy is good. Daniel Jones is a good quarterback.
They need an offensive line.
They need an offensive line.
And they need a running back who could stay. They need a running back who's reliable of staying healthy.
That too.
And not getting injured all the time.
That's such a shame because he's such a great talent. But he just can't stay healthy. He just can't. And if I'm the Giants, I'm looking at two things. Well, maybe three things because, the whole running back situation. Okay, so we'll go running back, offensive line, and coach. I like Danny Dimes. I do.
I don't.
I think if you put an offensive line around him with the core pieces that they got, if you look at it, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, and Kenny Golladay, that's a heck of a wide receiving core.
Yeah.
If those guys can all stay healthy, if you put protection in front of Danny Dimes, the guy's always running.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you give that guy protection, he's shown that he can ball. You just got to protect him. But for me, those are my two most disappointing teams. It's a deadlock tie as the Chiefs and the Giants because the Chiefs, you expect them to be in the conversation because of how successful.
You're not disappointed in the Browns?
All
those weapons, you can't do nothing?
I am, but I'm not because I expected it. Because Baker Mayfield isn't that great.
It's ridiculous.
Defense ain't that great neither. That's why, honestly, I'm not disappointed in the Browns. I said last year was a fluke. And I'm going to tell you why that offense is struggling.
Where is Odell Beckham?
They got to trade him.
Come to the
They're better without him. Last year showed that.
Imagine what Aaron would do with Odell Beckham or a team like the Bucks or even the Rams.
Don't say that. Don't say the Bucks. They already got AB, Godwin, and
I'm just saying, imagine that. Like Baker Mayfield, I don't like him, man. I feel like I don't like his face.
Tell us why you don't like Baker Mayfield.
Because I feel
I'm going to light this cigarette, and I'm going to let you run for a couple minutes why you don't like Baker Mayfield. The floor is yours, sir, because I want to hear this.
Okay. Number one, it's his face. Okay? I can't stand his face. Number two, he just has this no care attitude about him. Like, never wants to take the credit for the team losing. And I feel like he is not. How can I explain this? I feel like every time you have expectations for them, he's always the reason why the Browns get set back. They're a run first team because he can't throw the ball. You have Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry, and he'll just completely miss and have Odell Beckham Jr. open and won't even throw the ball to him. I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know if it's just because he don't like him, but he is just not. I don't think he's a good fit in the Browns. Like, I think the other game, the Browns was like 3rd and 9, and he decided to run the ball. Like, why you decide to run the ball on the 3rd and long? If that don't tell you the problem in Browns, it's Baker Mayfield. It's him. And I don't think he's going to get that contract extension this year.
I don't either. And I agree with everything you just said. It's the lack of accountability. Like you said, when we look at a quarterback, we look at the leader of the team. He's the guy who takes the ball for everybody.
He's not a great leader.
And he's not. He's not a great leader at all. He does not like to take the blame for the team's losses. Even when it is his fault why they lost the game. He doesn't. He's not a leader of men. He's never been. I always seen that guy as a front runner. He reminds me of a slightly better version of Johnny Manziel. That's what he's always reminded me of. Baker Mayfield has always reminded me of Johnny Manziel. The front running, the arrogance, the ignorance, everything. And people like him don't like guys like Odell Beckham on their team because Odell will chew him. I mean, like you said, missing Odell in open passes. I'm going to tell you why. Because he don't want Odell there. Last year showed you that. When he started balling, when Odell got hurt. Why? Because he didn't have to force feed Odell. Odell wants the ball a lot. As opposed to Jarvis Landry, who's like, I'll get my touches, but make sure everybody eats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, that's why I don't think the relationship between Odell and Baker Mayfield has ever worked or will ever work, because Baker doesn't like to feel forced into doing things he don't want to do.
Yeah.
Odell is going to give me the effing ball.
I feel like he's very greedy with the spotlight.
Yes.
Very greedy.
Oh, yes. Baker wants to be the center of attention, just like Odell.
He's getting it. But not in a bad way.
Commercials.
In a bad way.
But he's getting it in a bad way. You see all the commercials, and that's what geeks me out. They're giving him all these commercials and stuff, and this guy is not that great of a quarterback.
Yeah.
He really isn't. They did the same with Tony Romo.
Yeah.
But like, I agree with everything you just said about him. Like, he's not a leader of men. He doesn't take accountability for his actions or why the team lost the game. You're right. They are a run-first team, and it's not just because they have two beastie running backs in Chubbs and Hunt. It's because he can't throw the dang old ball.
They don't trust him.
They don't. They do not trust him. They don't trust him. He had an opportunity last year to prove what he was when they had the Chiefs up against the ropes, and they should have won that game and sent the Chiefs home in the playoffs. And he choked.
Yeah.
Because he's just not that guy. That guy that
you're not that guy, pal.
Skip Bayless, you're not that guy. That guy that Skip Bayless was going on Undisputed, ranting and raving about when he came out of Oklahoma. This is that guy. He is the next. He is not that guy. And everything you just said about Baker Mayfield, I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you on that. All right, so we're going to move out of the NFL, and we're going to move on to NBA. Well, as we all know, the new NBA season started 2 weeks ago. And, I mean, what do you think so far, man? Who's your most surprising team through 2 weeks?
The Bulls. Chicago. The way that team has come with Zach LaVine, with Lonzo Ball, and Alex Caruso getting some alley-hoop action with Lonzo Ball.
Don't
I think
forget
it's a
about the
great,
big man down low, Vucevic.
huh?
That team is stacked. They
Yeah,
got 4 All-Stars on that team.
and they're young.
And
They're
they're
very
young.
young.
And they're not even in their primes yet. Well,
Yeah,
DeRozan is, but,
yeah,
like the others, they're not even in their prime yet.
yeah.
For me, it's the Kings.
Sacramento,
They look good.
they still got the Aaron Fox, right?
Oh, they got the Aaron Fox and a whole lot more.
Who they got?
You still got Buddy Hield. That kid, Davion Mitchell, their backup point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Whoo! Listen, that team is stacked. And then they got Halliburton.
Yeah.
And it's they've beaten a couple good teams to start the year. They beat the Lakers. I would say they beat somebody else. I want to say they beat another good team. Like the Kings have surprised me by even being remotely competitive in these games, let alone winning. Like, and I like what Luke Walton's cooking up there. I mean, when you look at it, man, I look at this Rashawn Holmes. Whoever would have thought Rashawn Holmes was going to be that good?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sixers always give up good players. You know what I mean?
Ben Simmons. What do you think about Ben Simmons?
We'll talk about that in a second. We'll get to that.
We'll talk about that in a second.
We'll get to that. Oh, I'm going to unload. But like I said, the Kings, man, the Kings, like I said, I like, you got De'Aaron Fox, you got Tyrese Halliburton, Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes, through 2 weeks, is averaging 25 a game and 10 rebounds.
He was good when he was with us.
Like, don't get me wrong, he was good with the Warriors and he was okay with the Mavericks and stuff. And he's been solid for the Kings these past couple years. But to average 25 and 10, like, I didn't see this coming. And he's shooting at a high clip, 40-something% from three, 50-something% from the field. So, like, he's balling out there.
Yeah.
And I just like what they have. Like, I look at the Kings, you have De'Aaron Fox, who's 20 and 10 and 20, I would say 28 and 5, 20 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. You have Halliburton, a guy who can also get you close to 20 points, who can also dish you about 8 dimes and get you about 4 or 5 rebounds. You have Buddy Hield. I mean, you got Barnes or whatever right now averaging 25-10. You got Rashawn Holmes averaging 16 and 11. Then you got Buddy Hield coming off the bench and the kid Davion Mitchell averaging double figures. Like,
I like Buddy Hield.
This team is young. This team is young, and they got talent across the board. Like they do. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on the Sacramento Kings this year. They are my sleeper team out of the West. And I agree with the Bulls, though, man. Like I said that a couple months ago when I did a live stream for the trade deadlines and all that stuff, and I did like a recap and all that stuff. And I said it, the Heat and the Bulls are going to be the two teams to really watch for out of the East because of what they did.
Yeah, I also have the Wizards.
Imagine when the Knicks get Oladipo back.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's woo!
Yeah, that's
okay.
Crazy.
So now,
how you feel about the Wizards?
Talk about Ben Simmons.
Oh man, the brat.
Mark my words, man. You heard it here first. When we trade him, he's going to go wherever he's going to go, possibly to the Warriors.
Yeah.
Wherever he's going to go, you're going to see him do things you never saw him do in Philly. You're going to see him make free throws. You're going to see him make threes. You're going to see him shoot mid-range. You're going to see
up wide open layups.
Everything. Listen, I've been telling people this since we got eliminated in Atlanta. Well, against Atlanta. He don't want to play in Philadelphia. He don't want to play with Embiid. And he even said that in the offseason, that his game, the way he plays, and Embiid style play don't mesh. Listen, it's no secret if you're a Sixer fan like I am, that every time Joel Embiid missed a game, Ben Simmons had his best game of the season. Every time Joel was, off for the night, load management, whatever you want to call it, was injured, Ben Simmons played his best basketball without Joel Embiid.
Yeah, he wants to be a captain.
Yes, and I just don't see any team that's going to look at him and be like, "You are a leader of men," considering how he's acted. This is why I have a problem with Ben Simmons. We catered the roster to you. We made you the point guard like you wanted. We got rid of Jimmy Butler like you wanted because you didn't like how Jimmy was chewing your head off because about your dedication issues. We gave you everything you wanted and then some. We gave you a max contract when you didn't even deserve it.
Yeah.
And this is how you repay us.
It's just a spit in the face.
Yes, it is. It's a slap. It's a one of those. It's like I said, we catered a roster to you. We give you a max contract, even though at the time we gave you the max contract, your numbers were declining.
Yeah.
I mean, and like Joel said, I adjusted my play style to his. Why do you think I'm out on the perimeter and not in the paint? He's ungrateful. And what it just boils down to is, like you said, he wants to be the guy. He wants to be the guy, but what he doesn't understand is that you haven't put it on film that you are the guy. You
prove yourself first.
Thank you. Like you haven't shown on tape you are the guy. 1 minute you'll go off without Embiid on the court for 42, 10, and 10. The next day you'll have 8 points, 2 rebounds, 3
hit 1 point in the playoff game.
And then pass an open dunk.
Yeah.
Like you can't expect these teams.
It's like Baker Mayfield. He likes to find people to blame.
Yeah, you can't expect any of these teams to take you seriously if you're not being serious with yourself. You really think what you put on tape is going to make an NBA team look at you and say, "I want Ben Simmons to be my leader"?
Like what? Yeah.
From a defensive standpoint, yeah, because he's a hell of a defender. But from an offense and just from a leadership standpoint, he's sensitive. And that's the thing I don't like about him. And this is why I said, good, get up out of Philly. I don't want you here. Because anybody who knows Philly, you got to have thick skin. You got to. Yeah. You have to. You have to have thick skin or you're not going to last long. And that's what we're seeing with Ben Simmons. He's not a tough guy. I don't want to say a tough guy. He's just soft. He's soft. He's sensitive. He's soft. He doesn't like to be criticized. He doesn't like to be told when he's done wrong. And that's always been Ben Simmons. And hey, you want to know my reaction to Ben Simmons getting traded out of Philly?
What?
Good riddance. Get off my team. Get out. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, buddy. My team would be a lot better without this stress. I assure you.
Yeah, I feel like he's playing a part in on the way they play on the court.
Yeah. Like I said, and I keep telling people this because everybody's like, "Oh, Ben Simmons, he's a bust. He's this and that." So no, guys, listen. This guy's no bust. He's the real deal. He's just not playing like the real deal in Philadelphia.
Man.
Wait till he gets traded. You wait till he gets traded. Wait. I'm guaranteed listen, when he gets traded, whoever his new team is, right, he's banging 3 threes in one night.
That's the Philly luck.
Yeah, I'm telling you. It is our luck. Honestly, listen, it really is. It really is. You look at players that have come to Philly, like Charles Barkley, leaves Philly, goes to have a Hall of Fame career. You know what I mean? Like, we are known for this. We're known for getting rid of so much good players. Like,
yeah.
Think about this. Who did they say we could have had? And we chose Zaire Smith. I forget. We chose Zaire Smith. And we could have had it wasn't Luka. Luka went too early. It was one of these young studs, one of these really good young studs or whatever. I forget who they said it was, but we passed up on this guy for Zaire Smith. And when I look at that, I'm just like, how? How do you do that? I forget. I'm gonna have to look it up, and when I do find out who it was, I'll tell you or whatever. I forget who the player was. That because when we drafted, there was one of these players that is balling now. He's like an up and coming like star, and we instead of choosing him, we chose Zaire Smith, and Zaire Smith is in the G League. Let you know how good Philly's front office is.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to the last segment of the show for today, and that's boxing news. You have Jerome Boots Ennis after his first round demolition. Hold on. Let's get that name of that guy that he dispatched of. It should be a sin for guys with boxing records 20-0 or better to still be fighting scrubs.
Yeah.
It really should. It shouldn't be allowed.
I think he's still a scrub himself.
You really think so?
Yeah, I think I've seen some things like I feel like when he throws punches, he gets clipped a lot. And I feel like if you go against somebody like a Sean
Spence,
Porter
an elite
or
fighter.
like a Spence, it's going to be dangerous. And you get one of those, lights out, and it's over. I think he'll do fair against Terrence Crawford because I feel like it'll be a boxing match. I think that'll be good for him, but I don't think like he'll do good against Sean Porter or Errol Spence. And I think Danny Garcia is moving up to like 154 or so.
Delerme. That's right. Thomas Delerme. That's right. That's who Jerron Ennis beat was Thomas Delerme. And I mean, it's worth to note that Delerme at one point was a intriguing, highly touted prospect himself, but if anybody knows the downfall of Thomas Delerme, it's like one of those prospects that was supposed to be the next Tito Trinidad, and it just didn't pan out. So, I mean, Jerron Ennis dispatches of him. I mean, I think the guy's got some skills. I think he's pretty good. But I do agree with you in terms of his punch resistance. I did see he has a leaky defense.
Yeah.
His defense isn't that great.
I feel like his
we have yet
telegraphing.
Yeah, we have yet to see him fight an elite level type, or at least something close to an elite level fighter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the jury's still out on him. He's calling out all the big names at 147. I mean, set up him and Yordanis Ugas.
Yeah, that would be a good fight.
That would be a good one.
I feel like that would be a good test.
I think that would be a really good test. If this guy, Jerome Boots Ennis, is what he says he is, and he's calling out the top 147 pounders, and Ugas is now a top, and he has actually been the last couple of years just kind of under the radar. He's a top 147 pounder.
And Yordanis Ugas. I would love to see the arrow with Yordanis Ugas. The WBA, like.
Yeah, and that's for the WBA belt, too. That would make a lot of sense. It would make a lot of sense because then you obviously got Porter and Crawford fighting. The winner of that should be fighting Spence next automatically.
Yeah.
And then you could set this guy up with Yordanis Ugas so Ugas isn't waiting around for an opponent. And then after that, the winners of those respective fights unify the belts.
Yeah.
No, I'm all aboard with that, but I think that the jury remains to be seen on Boots, and it's like it's kind of like what a lot of people are saying about Caleb Plant going up against Canelo, but I see it differently. I'm looking at it from a skill standpoint. You know what I mean?
Yo, Plant's gonna get destroyed, man, and I feel bad to say, but he's gonna get destroyed, man.
I don't think so. And we're going to actually do a live. We're probably going to focus tomorrow's live stream on just that altogether. Honestly, just do like a whole hour of talking about that and breaking down clips of what we see or whatever from both fighters to what advantages and disadvantages each fighter has. I honestly think Caleb Plant's going to shock the world, but that's just my opinion, and we're going to save that for tomorrow's live stream and stuff.
Next,
But
Billy Joe Sanders. Billy Joe Sanders Jr.
the thing is, what I will say about this, why give Plant a bigger chance when than Billy Joe? And keep in mind, Billy Joe was winning that fight up until that point.
Yeah.
Caleb Plant has more pop. He has more power. And I think that he can, I don't want to say he's going to knock out Canelo. I think he has to, because I don't think the judges will give him a decision even if he really wins.
Draw.
I see. That's why I said he would have to knock him out. But in terms of like Billy Joe and Caleb Plant, I give the power advantage to Plant. Billy Joe was never really a big puncher at all.
I'm just saying, let that cut at the press conference be an early preview. He's gonna get mollywopped. Better hope he don't grow his hair out. He's gonna be flopping everywhere.
We'll see. We gonna see. I got my white boy winning. I got my white boy winning by unanimous. I want to say unanimous decision, but I'm scared that they're not going to give him this. I'm gonna put it this way. And like I said, we're going to talk about more tomorrow. But Caleb Plant, if he wants to win by decision, he's going to have to beat Canelo the hell up.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to have to cut him up. He's going to have to beat him up. Like, beat him up good.
Yeah.
He's going to have to. But let's move on to our last part of today's show. Gervonta Tank Davis and Rolando Rolly Ramirez fight has been canceled. This is the beatdown. The thing you said was going to happen to Plant, I wanted to see this happen to Rolly.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Rolly get destroyed.
He's cocky, man.
It's not even about being cocky for me. I feel like he's trying to be somebody he's not.
I feel like he hasn't beaten anybody yet.
Well, no, he hasn't beaten nobody.
Like to act the way he does. Like,
yeah,
I don't like it. This is cockiness to me. It's delusion to me.
It is. Okay, so this is what we have right here. Obviously, Rolando Romero out. Gervonta Davis to face Isaac Cruz. We'll have to look him up and see what he's about.
I've seen him look up highlights before this. I looked up a couple highlights and listen to me. He's going to get knocked out. The same thing we just said about Boots Ennis, this guy does on another cloud of just throwing punches and leaving his face open. No really head movement, no foot movement. It's just going to be a sitting target. It's going to be a punching bag. He's going to be a punching bag.
That's crazy. I'm going to do my homework on Cruz and see what I see, because I've never even heard of this guy.
Me neither. I had to set you up before this.
Apparently, multiple women recently accused Romero of sexual assault. Unfortunately, that's unfortunate. Hopefully, it comes out that that's not true. Hopefully, he didn't do anything that would land him in that type of trouble.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, given his attitude at the press conference and the way he carries himself, he's a smug SOB. It wouldn't surprise me if he did something stupid like that.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, for me, it just sucks because it's just prolonging the beatdown that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, the way he handled himself at the press conference and the disrespectfulness. And then my thing was this. He reminded me so much of a bootleg Prince Nassim. It's like you're trying to be somebody you're not. Like, cool, it's like they was cutting on him. Like, bro, you coming up in here with this with this fur coat on, and it's hot as hell out here.
Look like a clown.
Stupid. Like, that's clownish. You know what I mean? And that's why I could never take him seriously. Not even just at the press conference. When he starts spouting off after his last fight, and I'm looking, I'm like, bro, you can't even punch. Like, did you watch his last fight?
No, but I've not seen his fights and his training footage. He
beat him up. You would beat him up.
Like he can't. Like
I'm being dead serious. Man, you outbox him. I'm being dead serious when I say this. I'm being dead serious. You would outbox him. Like,
man.
this guy, he is just straight comfortable. You know, he reminds me of Ricardo Mayorga without the skill. Because Mayorga had skill to setting up his big bombs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he reminds me of. Ricardo Mayorga with no skill at all. I'm just going to come forward and throw crazy. And I'll give it to him. He's fast. He's got fast hands, but he doesn't put them together right. He's one of those swing, and then just swing, you know, and I said it that okay, maybe in the early rounds, because sometimes how Tank you like to take this time and fill himself into the fight. That was Rolly's best chance.
Yeah,
that was his best chance. But I said if they get past 3 rounds, Tank is going to brutalize him.
Yeah.
He's never fought this. That guy Rolly never fought anybody the level of Tank.
I don't even know why this fight was even made.
Because of all the crap that Rolly was talking. He was going on Twitter, Facebook, everything. I'm going to put it this way. He threw the bait and Devontae bit it. I got to give him credit in that regard. He talked himself into the fight.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, boxing fans are like, well, Gervonta, I mean, you don't have a fight set up. This guy's calling you out. He really thinks he can beat you. He's in the same weight class.
Yeah.
All right. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, this fight gets pulled because this idiot wants to play around and do whatever he's doing. Hopefully, it's not true because we can't sit there and say these allegations are true because they are just allegations. And sometimes in these situations, it does get found out that the females were lying. So we have to give him the benefit of a doubt. But now we're looking at it like this. Let's say if he does get found guilty or he pleads no contest to whatever, right? Well, now we're looking at a 6-month to a year suspension out of boxing.
Yeah.
You just
He's not one of those guys that are that good to be getting a year out of the ring.
And you weren't even that good to even get this fight. Now you just knocked yourself back down on the totem pole. Like
back to ground zero now.
Yeah, now he really is back to ground zero. Now he's back to fighting these guys he's been fighting. Because ain't none of these other guys like Teofimo, Garcia, none of them ain't gonna fight him now. I'm gonna say now, they're not gonna wait to fight him.
Yeah.
They're not gonna wait to fight him at all.
Yeah.
I just don't understand some guys, man. Like, I mean, I understand we're all human, and all that stuff, and we make mistakes. But when you making that type of money in that profession, like, why would you jeopardize that? I just don't understand.
It's not worth
but hey, it's not us, so we ain't in their brain, so we can't. You know what I mean? We can't really judge. We can only speculate. You know what I mean? But it does suck that fight's off because I really wanted to see him. I did, man. Like, I'll put it this way, and you can ask your pops this. How I felt about Rolly Romero is how I used to feel about Miguel Cotto when he was undefeated. I couldn't stand Miguel Cotto. You want to know why? Because he just had, and what I learned to respect about Miguel Cotto was because he admitted it. I thought I was unbeatable.
Yeah.
He admitted that. And that's what made me respect Miguel Cotto is because he admitted that, hey, I thought I was untouchable. I thought nobody could beat me. You know what I mean? And then I got beat. Unfortunately, we know how he got beat the first time.
Yeah.
That was wrong. You know what I mean? That shouldn't even count as a loss on his record, given the findings that Margarito cheated with hand wraps.
Yeah, cheated.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he cheated. But that up at that time, because we didn't know about the hand wraps, me and your dad both wanted to see Cotto lose. Because we couldn't stand his arrogance. We couldn't stand his arrogance. And then when he did lose, we celebrated. But then when we found out how he did lose, it was like, that's messed up.
Yeah,
that's not right. That's not right.
See what happened in the rematch.
He could have got killed.
See what happened in the rematch.
I will say this, though, and I want you to answer this for me. Do you think they stopped that fight too soon? Just to
No.
give Cotto his redemption?
No.
You don't?
No.
I'm going to advise you to go back and watch that fight. And preferably watch the last like 2 rounds. And why I say this, man, is because for me personally, I felt like they did stop the fight too soon. And I felt that we were going to see a repeat of the first fight. Because if you really watch Cotto's body language, especially in the last 2 rounds, Margarito was hurting him. He was. He was hurting Cotto. He was hurting Cotto to the body. He upstairs. He was hurting him. And then Cotto lands that combination, and then he waved the fight. For me personally, I mean, I get you were trying to protect his eye, but he was still fighting.
Yeah.
And I felt like they protected Cotto that night. That's just my opinion. I'm just going to advise you to go back, watch that fight, and then let me know down the road what you think, and if you agree with me or if you still keep your opinion. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion on that. You know what I mean? But, all right, cuz, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. You know what I mean? It's about 9 o'clock, and I know you got to, get a shower, get ready for school in the morning. I got to get ready to go, punch that clock in the morning.
Start all over again.
Here. Huh?
About to start all over again.
Yep, start it all over again, and we will be back here.
Don't stop, it keeps going.
Yep, we're gonna be back here tomorrow night. As I said, I'm gonna set it up. We're gonna basically how it's gonna set up. We're gonna be going live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday.
All right.
That's how we're gonna set it up. And like I said, I'm gonna send you the information. You know what I mean? So that if I'm at work and something comes in, like breaking news or whatever, and you wanna hop on, do a quick, video and talk about it yourself.
Yeah.
You part of the team now, cuz. So you in there. All right, everybody. This is 717 Sports Chat Live. I'm Marcus James Witherspoon. This is Cousin Man, a.k.a. Packers fan. You know what I mean? We're out of here for the night. We will see you guys tomorrow night.
If anybody wants to smoke, what's up?